Hello and welcome to another video from my random hobbies, and today we're looking at HGVs and their relationship with vulnerable road users, which include cyclists and pedestrians. So let's get into it. So here we are, I'm entering the truck, and as you can see from the reflection in the door, the truck window is way above my head, and you can see the seat there. The seat is, at 6 foot plus, which is high anyway. Lots of steps to climb up, 3 or 4 usually. And then I'm sat in the cab at a very elevated position. Okay, so we're sat in the cab of a truck, a unit, and you'll have seen there that we're high up. We are probably head height wise a good 8 or 9 feet, possibly a little bit more in some cases, above ground level, which puts you at an incredibly good position, but also has potential negative possibilities as well, and those are blind spots. Now you'll see when I show you in a moment that there are lots of mirrors attached to these trucks. You've got ones on the side, usually dual mirrors, so they focus on different aspects. You've sometimes got an extra one on one side, usually the near side where the passenger would sit, because you're looking particularly there for pedestrians or cyclists at lights and things like that. And you've also got one up above the windscreen as well, and the purpose of that being that you can then see directly down in front of the truck, because you're 8 or 9 feet high and you can't necessarily see what's directly below you. So I'm just going to show you that now. So these are the driver's side mirrors, and as you can see, they cover quite a good range. You can see to the back on the top one, and you can see down past the door here on the bottom one. And similarly, when you go across, there's the mirror for checking down below, because unlike a car, there's no bonnet, it's a straight drop, so you can't necessarily see. And then we've got similar mirrors on the opposite side, and again there's that crucial extra mirror for looking directly down beside the door. So what do all these mirrors mean? All these mirrors mean that you cover as much of the area as possible that cannot be seen by the naked eye. Remember, if you're in a car, you are sat down below the level that you're stood at, and your windows therefore are at sort of anywhere between 4 and 6 feet tall, I suppose, depending on the type of car you're in. Unless you're in a great big 4x4, then maybe a little bit higher, but it means that you can see people walking along the side or cyclists coming up alongside you. So unless they're in a recumbent bike where they're pretty much sat on the floor, you're going to have a better chance of seeing than in one of these, because we have to look out to the side and in front, but also then down and to the rear as well. There's quite a few tiny little blind spots. If you're glancing at your mirrors and you're looking, and drivers do that every few seconds, if you snuck up on a bike or you've walked out from the side as a pedestrian, it's more tricky to see you. So I understand, obviously, there's been some changes with the highway code, and actually the changes haven't really been vast. Certainly as drivers, you're always told to sort of look out for these anyway, and to be cautious of them at roundabouts and things like that, cyclists, horses, and expect them to do the unexpected, or to go all the way round if they're in the left-hand lane, for example. So those things have kind of been there, but I think there's got to be an element of what's the word I'm looking for? Not accountability, but awareness, I think, is probably the better word. Awareness from the cyclists and pedestrians in particular, because, you know, there are a lot of places they can essentially hide next to or behind a lorry. And as you'll have seen on the mirrors, you can't actually see right behind you, whereas obviously in a car you've obviously got sometimes a rear window that you can look through as well to see what's there. So yes, drivers are inevitably looking out for the dangers, they're looking out for the vulnerable road users, but I do feel that there's got to be an element of awareness of perhaps the difficulties that drivers may face when spotting people. And that's one of the reasons why we walk around yards and things in fluorescent jackets. It's because we need to be seen. If we're not seen, it's not safe. And so, you know, that's important. And again, we do that so that other truck drivers can see us when moving about more easily. So there we go. They are massive things, and, you know, and again, they can't be stopped quickly. Not as quick as a bike, not as quick as a car, or a small van even. There's a lot of tonnage. And if you've got a trailer on the back as well, full with a load, that load, when it's moving, has momentum. Yes, it's attached to the trailer, and a bit like us sitting on the world. We don't feel the world moving, we sort of stay put. If a load suddenly stops, if the trailer suddenly stops, the load has momentum and it wants to keep going. Now, obviously, that's why we strap loads and things, but even with sort of strapping, if you're forced to slam on your brakes because someone has pulled in front of you recklessly or stepped out in front of you in a relatively fast speed limit, you're going to be applying those brakes quite hard, and that weight is going to come forward. It's wanting to push forward. And I have seen where loads have travelled through the cab with the sort of force and momentum that they have, which is obviously very dangerous for the driver too. So you need to make sure that there's enough distance for people to be able to stop safely. When you're talking about, you know, 20, 30, 40 tons that may be having to stop, it's not that easy. So there we go. I guess it sounds like I'm an advocate for pedestrians and cyclists and vulnerable road users being a little bit more cautious and aware themselves. Of course, I would like that to be, but equally I understand the new rules and principles as well, because they are vulnerable. You know, if I hit a pedestrian in a truck, I'm not going to feel it. To be quite frank with you, the pedestrian will, in a very serious way. So the rules are there for a reason, and understandably so, which is important. So there we go. I just wanted to show you the sort of difficulties, perhaps, or the viewpoint of the driver, and why it may not always be possible to spot someone who makes a sudden change or decision to be alongside or in front of a larger vehicle. Okay, here's the bit I always seem to forget. Please do like and subscribe to my channel, and if you want to comment, please do, but just obviously keep it clean. Thank you very much. Take care for now. Bye bye.